Hello, it's Brett from Survival Comms YouTube channel. It's my first YouTube video, so kind of go easy on me here. And today we're going to talk about the Soviet pilot survival tool, Multitool, which is also called the Spetsnaz Survival Axe or Spetsnaz Survival Machete or whatever have you. And you know, I mean, when I was a younger man, to the fall of the Soviet Union and the collapse of the Warsaw Pact, you could get these things for next to nothing, along with most of your other Soviet Eastern Bloc surplus. And didn't buy one back then because they were so prevalent. You know, you could probably get them for $25–30 back then. Now they command a little bit higher price tag because they're kind of unique. I've seen a couple videos on YouTube about them. There's a fella that's chopping up stuff with them and everything like that, but no one really takes them apart, which I'm going to go ahead and do for you right now. I did pick it up for a pretty good price tag from a buddy of mine's shop when I was down there, and of course it came with a sheath that looked like that, which was something that was made in the USA that they brought in with it. It's probably easier to sell the thing with some kind of sheath, and it is somewhat sharp. Of course, I've sharpened it on my work sharp sharpener, but it's got a saw back on it. It's got several different edge angles on it for chopping and fine cutting. It's got a protractor built into it. It's got a metric ruler on it. It's got your sight back here along this plane to where you can go ahead and use your protractor to determine altitude or height of objects. This little thing right here is supposed to be to use it as a, this one here is supposed to be to use it as a grappling hook. I've seen that referenced before. It has a hollow handle, kind of like your old school Rambo knives, about the same time period, which has a screwdriver, and it has a sewing awl on it, which actually has a thread hole in it. Interestingly enough, this is referenced here as being an ice pick, to where you could screw this cap back on here and use two of these things to ice climb with it, which would be a, I mean, kind of a harrowing experience to say the least. I don't know if I'd like doing that so much. But the handles of Bakelite construction has a lanyard hole in it. There are little goodies that were in it. I don't know if these were originally came with. There's matches, fish hooks, and fishing line, which, I mean, I guess you got your cutting tools, so that's what's important. You can make whatever you want out of that. Did construct a sheath out of leather for it right after I picked it up, and after I stripped the finish off of it, and it came out pretty decent. And just wanted to refinish it because I had to take so much of the original finish, which was a blued finish, off of it, because as you can see on this side here, there's some pretty heavy duty pitting in it, so, which is a shame, but I think it's going to look really good parkerized when I get done with that. For a reference book on this item here, since I am a bibliophile, I have happen to have this book laying around, which is your Big Pilot Survival Equipment book. And if you look in here, you can see it referenced in a pilot survival tool. And then they've got another type of pilot multi-tool or axe. And it goes on to talk very briefly about it, not too much. As a matter of fact, that page and this page are about the only references to it in here. So there is some more references about this one here, and you notice that there's no picture of a sheath or any kind of enclosure for it to protect yourself from it, so, or to protect the machete itself. But it's kind of a neat tool. Don't know how practical it is. I haven't done much with it. It is kind of neat though, so that's why I'm going to refinish it. It is not a full tank construction, which that's when we take this thing apart here in a second. I'm going to show you how it how the handle indexes on this. Pull your handle off of it here. Cross guard. You can kind of see this here, how it's got your threaded retaining nut goes on there on that stud, and you have this is machine steel also. And what it does is it basically slides on there, and then it's about that thick inside of there, and then that tightens up against it. That's better than your Rambo knives, but it's not as strong as a full tang. But I think it's going to look really good refinished. So, and I'll make sure that we do a video of that, so to show everybody else this thing will look like, and then it'll probably go in my vault. I don't think I'm going to use it for camping or anything like that. There's other stuff out there that I'd rather use, but definitely a neat piece of history, and I'm glad to have it in my collection.